Hi, my name is Missy Mwendwa. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer for Eneza Education. Eneza Education was founded in 2012 with the main aim of making 50 million students in Africa smarter.
And how do you do that?
So students are able to learn through our platform from SMS, mobile web, and Android, where they're able to get bite-sized topics that is based out of the national curriculum from upper primary school to secondary school, where students are able to get lessons and assessments, and they're even able to interact with a live teacher, where they're able to ask questions and get feedback between 15 to 30 minutes.
And how many students are currently using the product?
Right now, we've been able to reach more than 1.8 million users, and we've been able to have a monthly activity over 400 to 500,000 active users.
And how does it work in terms of the revenues?
So right now, we currently are partnered with Safaricom, where we do have a revenue share, which I cannot disclose right now. But students are able to opt into the service by dialing *291#, and we retrieve our revenue from airtime, which is only for a weekly basis. That means that if the student utilizes the system for 7 days and exchanges more than 10,000 SMSs, it's still that 10 shillings per week.
And outside of Kenya, which countries are you in?
We're currently in Ghana. We are going to officially launch in April. We're also launching in Zimbabwe in May. And then we're moving past Tanzania and also South Africa during this year.
And what other plans have you got over the coming year to 18 months?
The biggest one is with our new product, which is a consumer product. So we're happy to announce that we're going to be the first company that is going to move to consumer within Safaricom and also another telco, which I cannot disclose right now. But we'll be able to become like voice, data, and SMS, meaning that will be one of the core products for within Safaricom, which they'll heavily market. So we'll actually become a consumer product. So that's what's in our pipeline in the next 18 months.
And when you say consumer product, how does that differ from reaching students?
The difference is that right now where we sit within the telco, we're within the innovation department, now we're moved into the consumer business, meaning that we're able to utilize the subscriber base of Safaricom to reach more consumers than we currently are, being in innovation and directly marketing as Eneza.
My name is Roselyn, Awili. I'm the content manager for Eneza Education.
And Roselyn, where does Eneza get its content?
Our content is majorly created by practicing teachers. Our partnerships with teacher institutions, teacher associations like CAPTCHA, which is Kenya Headmistress Association, helps us get the best teachers, some of who set examinations for the national examinations that students sit for.
And the content that you create, is that simply content lifted from somewhere else, or do you create it specially for the purposes of the service?
We have localized content that is created from the national curriculum syllabus, and we break it down into concepts just to make sure that all the objectives in all the subjects that are offered are covered in the content that we provide.
And so typically what would an item of content look like to the student?
So basically this would be a tutorial, which is a summary of the major concept and assessments that students get.
And what do students find most useful?
We have a special feature that's called Ask a Teacher, which allows students to have direct interaction by asking their questions to a live teacher, and they get responded to within 15 minutes of their ask time.
And how many people use that service?
Mostly school-going students and out-of-school learners that we serve. Right now we have around 1.8 million users.
And how do you know that students are learning usefully from the kind of content that you're providing? What's the progression path?
Once students take the tutorial, they get to learn the key concepts, then followed by the assessment, which is 5 questions that are derived out of the key concept in the tutorial. After that, they get their performance report, which is a score of how they performed in the assessment questions.
And do the students stick with using the service, or do you find a drop-off after a certain point?
We have identified a pattern. So you realize, like in Kenya, students are not allowed with phones in school. but we have identified times when they're at home between 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. There is a spike on how they use the system, and also during weekends and school holidays.
And are they using it largely on basic phones, or do they have feature phones and smartphones?
Majorly basic phones, because it's reachable even in rural areas, but also on smartphones you can access Shupavu 291.